Welcome, everybody. Today we have another special episode.
With our special
run.
guest.
Yes, sure. We have another episode of Behind the Booth where we talk about all things artists, cons, just everything and the whole traveling, selling genre, fantasy, anime art, particularly anime.
You having issues there, my friend?
Yes, I am.
So you have fantasy selling.
This is our fantasies of selling and our cons that we've been doing for.
When did we start?
3 years.
2022.
So today, we are going to talk about
Our humble beginnings.
them, ourselves, the two artists that we have here.
You have also been behind the booth.
I have been behind the booth.
One day we'll have 3 artists behind the booth.
Yes. But the people here are part of what we know as the company of Reaper in the area.
Find us at your nearest con.
We started.
Fine Forest.
Fine Forest.
I'll be there. I'm at every con.
But exactly. And so, I mean, just to start off, obviously, you know, we've talked about stuff on the podcast. We've been talking about shit forever. And we've always mentioned the art, right? We've always been like, oh, if you want certain things, it's down in the description.
Look, we have shirts right now.
Yes,
down at the description.
For the stores, you have the hat, and it's something we've always passively mentioned, but never like fully got into or talked about, and even until the last time we talked with our friend that came over, and
Yes.
we talked to him about his stuff.
So we started. Our first con was FanX, Salt Lake City.
Yes.
2022.
2022, September 2022, 222229.
Well, we were selling on Etsy before.
We were selling on
Yes.
Etsy before.
Yeah.
So
I remember when we went to Michael's and we're like, let's play a cricket.
So,
machine.
so how did this come about? How
I don't even
walk us through like
the issue is I don't remember how it started.
What is the inception of
Well,
Reaper in the
all
area?
I remember was the
we
usual.
had the podcast before, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
always had the podcast. We had it was during the Ovid time,
Yes.
The overtime.
and it was like, okay, we have nothing better to do. And I know he used to paint all the time, and I think I started
Yes.
getting into just digital drawing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it'll be easier.
Oh, I remember. It's because we got iPads at the end of 2020. It was like around
21, maybe?
No,
It
2020.
was 2020?
Yeah, 'cause
Oh,
I
man.
was still single, living in the apartment.
Yes, I
Yeah.
remember
And
that.
I got my iPad, and then you got your iPad. And then we started trying on them.
Yeah, but why did we even start that? what was the motivation?
I don't know.
You want to think this is me, right? This is me working the autistic brain. This is what I'm remembering, right? I remember at some point, because we've always hung out, we've always thrown, you know, the shit around about creating things, right?
Yeah.
Like I know you've always wanted to make a manga. I know you've always made your art, and we've done stuff in the past. I remember because I remember us watching a video about selling stickers.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if we went looking for it specifically or if it came up on
That's
a
the
feed.
thing. I don't remember if
It
it
might
just
have been just like, you know, your brain rotting on YouTube.
Yeah, because
and you're
I
like,
want to say
stickers.
I think we were just hanging out at the.
bit-
This is when you moved. I think this is
Yeah, it
after
was
you
like-
moved into
yeah.
our house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we were just hanging out one weekend, just shooting the shit and stuff, and like we saw some video about making art into like a
Stickers,
business,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Into
you
stickers
can make
specifically.
money.
And I don't remember whose it was. Like I could see parts of the video in my head still of how they packaged their stationery in the envelopes and all the things. I think that's where the idea of the cricket machine came in because that's what they used to cut.
Yeah. Because I know at that time we started, or you showed me the 1000.
Yes.
And we
Yeah,
started
yeah,
watching
yes.
him. Then that's about it from what I remember.
But I mean the point is obviously we saw those things and there was the idea that the idea came into play, right?
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, why not sell stuff?
Yeah.
Right. If we're gonna make art anyway, right? If we're gonna draw, why not? Obviously, commodify it, right?
We already had iPads.
Yeah.
We got to make our money back on our iPads, and we're
Yeah,
still working
yeah.
on that.
I'm trying to think if you guys had the idea before you bought the iPads. I feel like
almost had them then.
because I think when you originally were thinking about opening costs,
Yeah.
the iPads were factored into it.
Well, I knew that the iPads were
It was
factored in.
afterwards.
Yeah, because I remember factoring them in later with the iPads and the printer and the clear cut.
Yes.
Those were just like, oh, we need to make this much.
Just I had a little like I had the tablet.
Your little Wacom.
Yeah, for my laptop.
And I had my big Wacom.
And then I remember the Apple Pen, the good one that we use now. It had just come out, and we're like, this is the time to fucking buy an iPad.
Yeah.
Was I carrying my Wacom at that time?
Well, so you
Not
had
often.
it. I remember you would try to do some stuff on it, but
Yeah.
your battery life was shit.
Yeah.
And it
It was ass.
Yeah, it was, and because I remember you used to
Because
draw.
it was a computer. It was a laptop that was like
That shit was
this big, that fat.
I remember you used to draw on it. I don't even remember.
I don't even know what I drew.
But
Well, the only thing I remember that's on it was the tarot cards that we were talking about. The
Yeah, the
Soul
Soul
Eater
Eater
ones.
ones?
But I drew those way before.
but you drew other stuff because I remember you would draw stuff on it
Yeah.
even before,
I
like
was just,
even
like,
thinking,
practicing and
even
stuff,
thinking
yeah.
of going into that on the iPad, right? You would just have it, you would draw things. What? I don't remember. This is I don't know, 6 years ago.
Because the issue is like if I'm going through my stickers
Yes.
that I have, I think all my stickers are on my iPad.
Yes, no, none of them.
Like
none
nothing
of them
came
from that
the
time.
Wacom.
No, I think you were drawing just other things.
Yeah, I just don't remember. That's the issue.
And then obviously same thing was for you. I remember you used to use Manga Studio and stuff and just draw stuff.
On my shitty HP laptop.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Rest in peace.
And so obviously the thought came to do this. You got the iPads. You started drawing on the iPads. You started making stickers. You started looking into what is necessary. That's when the Etsy store opened up.
Yep.
Right? You got
we used our iPads to come up with our logo for the podcast.
I remember that because I remember when we fully came up with it. It was at the
basement.
No, it was at the not sushi place that we used to eat. The Asian place that was next to Rita's in Dick's.
Yes,
Oh.
yes.
I don't remember
It
that.
was that sushi
It-
place.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Sushi place, yeah.
That was the place I remember. I don't remember if we came up with this logo or the podcast one or both.
I
I don't remember how we came up with this
we
one.
drew this one in the basement.
We drew this
were
one in the
sitting- We were
basement?
watching some bullshit, and
Yeah,
we were
as
like,
usual.
Reaper in the area. What if we put a plague mask on it?
This was
this was peak Ovid time.
This is my contribution to this.
This was Ovid time. I remember
This
that.
was my few contributions to this. Was this?
I remember that.
Because I remember you guys had, I don't know what you guys were gonna think of for the story. I'm just like, just combine your fucking
Gamer
your gamer tags.
I remember that.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember the gamer tags, and mine was Mind Reaper, and his was God in the area.
Yeah.
So it's either gonna be Reaper in the area or Mind God. I'm like, that's not bad.
God
either.
Reaper.
Yeah. But I think we wanted it to make it like at least sound good.
Yeah.
Where I think Mind God it's not a bad name.
No.
Just what's the logo gonna be? Like a mind where you're.
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember us talking about it. You pick Reaper in the area. You started with the Reaper. I remember.
We went through so much because we went through like actual like skeleton Reaper.
I think I saw a plushie that was similar to this, and I think that's where the mention of the plague mask came through.
The Hollow Knight and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Oh,
Or
that's
Plague
right.
Knight.
Yeah.
Because I said we went kind of realism, and then we went more chibi, and then we came up.
Yeah,
We
because
wanted something simple.
Yeah.
something that's easy to either print off on vinyl or print on something.
Yeah.
And
Easily recognizable,
Yeah.
not like over the top. Because I think when I was looking at ideas, I was looking at a lot of tattoo, like skulls and stuff like that. And I was just like, like it'd be fine, but it doesn't really, narrow down that we do like, it's almost cutesy. So I think it helps with that. It helps that it's anime.
Yes.
Like even if like it doesn't show that we draw anime, you can tell
It's
it's not like a skeleton. It's not dark.
It could be anything.
Yeah. Which I think with our name, a lot of like when we get placed at cons, they're like, cute thing. It's like they put us next to the cute stuff. So I don't know if it's because
very
we're trying to do
funny.
a cute line or they think, Reaper in the area must be like dark art. So we're going to balance it out if it doesn't work because we're not dark art.
so here's my thought, right? So obviously you
so
start
funny.
the Etsy store, right?
Yeah.
You start selling stickers on it and stuff. So what prompted the idea? Because I don't remember.
I don't remember.
What prompted,
I think
what
we just-
prompted the idea
Most likely,
to sell at Fanatics?
most likely me because I love cons.
Yes.
Like I used to go to cons way before. Like I went to New York Comic Con before it was New York Comic Con. It was like Big Apple Con. Then New York Comic Con moved to the bigger building, and I went to that for 10 years straight.
All your life.
Yeah. And then when I moved out here, I saw they had the FanX, and I think literally when
It
I
probably
moved out
was
here,
Comic-Con when you moved here.
no, it was FanX. Because when I moved here, it was the first year they called it FanX.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because they had the FanX and they had the two going at the same time.
Yeah.
They had FanX and Comic-Con.
Yes, it was Salt Lake Comic-Con.
So they did have that.
And then the lawsuit happened. And
then they dropped that one and they just have single FanX. Yes. But I know I was like, oh, we go to this all the time. And I think it was, I don't remember. I know it was just before all the sickness stuff.
Yes.
And I was like, okay. Looking at the con, it was quite full. And then it was the year after, directly the year after when the con first opened.
Yes.
I remember we applied way late.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was like maybe a month before. And we didn't hear anything back.
Yeah.
And then we go up to the con, there's empty tables everywhere. And I'm like, why didn't we get accepted? There's all these empty tables. And then they changed it the year after, and then we got accepted as our first con, 2022. So, man, imagine if we went to that first one. We'd have like 6 things.
Well, we had like, I remember when
we had a lot of stickers.
We got accepted, and we were only selling stickers on Etsy. And we had a handful of like, we had a lot of single stickers.
Yep.
A lot.
Because we had a lot of sets.
Yeah.
We had the Ava set. We had I can pull it up right now.
The Ava set was one of the first ones I did. And then I remember
the big ones were...
There was a Demon Slayer one.
We had the mice, which was the other big one.
Oh, yeah. because that season just dropped.
Yep, the Demon Slayer mice, which was... Those two are still our best selling. Was that first con? Yep, that was our first con. Oh, I think it is, because that's our neighbors at our first con.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was the first con.
I also said the same thing when I was looking through. I was like, I did that at the first con. We didn't have the muscle gym logo.
No, I knew that.
That was after.
Yes,
I knew that.
Because I was drawing that at the time when I started more parody art. But other than that, we had started our VTuber art, your Yu Hakusho stickers, which never sold, and then became one of our popular ones after like 3 years.
Oh, we didn't have any prints.
A lot of peaks. No, we had prints. We had.
Oh no, but like before that, we didn't have any prints. And I remember because the Naruto one, it's just a sketch I had in my iPad. We're like, fuck it, just printed.
Yeah, we had nothing better. We wanted to put something. And at that time, you had your Grandpappy Gundam.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the granddaddy.
And then you had
I had the I ones.
The I one, and then the
I
3.
remember the week of. That's when I painted the Gundam one, the Evangelion.
The Evangelion one.
Yeah.
And then I had a Toradora one, and then the other ones were just there.
So I finished the last one the day after it started, and Forrest printed them in
the day of. Because I remember going to the print house, and the lady's like, I'm like, I need to print these off my USB, and she's like, okay, whatever. And she's going through, she's like, oh, you're doing art? I'm like, yeah, we're selling at FanX. She's like, oh, that's cool. Like, when? I'm like, today. She's like, oh, okay.
Like a whole hour.
Yeah. And so she prints them out, and of course, this is before we knew of cat prints and other places.
Well, I think this is before, obviously, you start building the connections that you need to build, right?
We know shit, dude.
Yeah, no.
We did the old, don't look anything up, let's just go to the con.
No, so now seeing that, this is the first con, right? This is the first place where you're selling art. I think it's a good spot to go into, because I think one of the interesting things I think about us, right, or you guys and what you're selling is how different you both are as artists.
Our digital art's not too much different on the chibi side.
And then the original stickers, right? Maybe, but especially now going into like the print era and as time progressed, right?
Yeah, we went from stickers being our main thing to being prints being our bigger thing.
So as artists, what would you guys say are your selling points, your main hits? Like what makes you
I'll go
as
with
an
mine.
artist?
Easy comedy. I love smashing things together that are just funny. Mm-hmm. Like the muscle mice with the Gold's Gym logo was like my first, I think, stint into mashing stuff together.
Yes.
Because I think the big thing was for me was the muscle mice. Like the small ones that I drew at first. I thought it was just a funny concept.
Well, yeah.
And I was like, it sold. And then I went down the route of just smashing things together. Even my tarot deck now is, for VTubers, is comedy still in my head because I'm taking, these funny characters and smashing them into a more serious type of tarot looking. But it's just like...
and it also obviously still has like inside jokes and all these other things that are built.
And I make sure... But I draw.
That
I
aqua
like to
sticker's
watch.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
The aqua sticker, yeah. But that's just more like, you know what, that was a funny scene. I'd like to draw it. And then I use it in other stuff.
Yes.
I have it as Konosuba. I have it as Freerin. And I have it as Crony. That's Hololive. So that's, I'd argue, most of my stuff is like comedy. I like comedy. And I do like to add, you know, other jokes or even more of my serious pieces are just, just like the art style.
People love the muscle mice.
People love the muscle mice.
That's the eye grabber. They're like, oh my god, muscle mice.
That's what I remember when at our first con. It was like people would go by, they'd point, and then they'd pose, and I'd be like, you know, we weren't making crazy money with the first one, but it was like, Bob, I'm gonna count how many laughs I can get because I also have the Anya sticker where she's screaming and the other one.
No, dude. Okay, what's funny is because the way we set it up, you couldn't tell what sticker they pointed out at the front. So you
can't.
You have to go around and like, what the fuck are you pointing at? Or they're like doing the pose.
Well, by my law of art, anytime someone orders a muscle mice, if they point at my booth, I go, show me the pose. Like I haven't opened because we have the book now, so they can point. So because sometimes they don't know the name.
Of course.
I don't know the name half the time either, so it's just like whatever. But they're like, I'm like, I want that muscle mouse. I'm like, which one? Which one do you want? And they pose. I'm like, perfect.
That one was perfect. For you, Bob, Robert.
Okay.
Well, what's your?
So I didn't have a lot of experience like going to cons or anything, but I did know there was a lot of digital art, right? So I just kind of just to set myself or us apart is just doing something physical.
Yes.
So something just looks completely different from digital art. Like I know there's different styles in digital art, but when you print it, it kind of looks
it's all pretty
the same-ish.
Yeah.
From if you're just glancing really quick, but if you painted something or you did something in pencil or pen, something black and white, I think that's something that your eye distinguishes differently. Yeah. So I think it's more of an eye catcher.
I feel like I think this is one of the failings, and maybe there is a way to get around this, and maybe there is a way to artificially like put this in, but I feel like so much digital art lacks texture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's mainly what it is.
There's some artists that can do it, but it matters how good you are at understanding how to paint in digital and make that texture.
Because I can understand you can probably make brushes and stuff that help, but I think even in the print, you can see it because these are all scans, right? For a lot of the stuff we've done for
globs.
you. Yeah, you see there's like a 3D aspect or just the ridges of the canvas and all that stuff. And it does. It's very eye-catching. It's very...
I think that's what's good about our booth. We have the two separations of people laugh, and we get those people to come over, and then we have the people that like the painting style. They're like, oh, this has emotion. Because that's also for your art. Any of the Ava stuff, which is our mainstay, I'd argue at this point.
God, I did something.
We need more.
Just Ava shit.
But a lot of people get emotions from it because it's not like a digital art where you draw the face to have emotion. There's emotion in the style, in
the brush strokes, and in the posing and all that. Yeah. Which is, like I said, which is not to say that it's not possible to do it on the other side, but obviously that's just outside of particular wheelhouses. And for him, it just worked out better. Yeah, doing it physically.
And I just think that separation's also interesting because it almost divides our booth in half, which is good because then it's like, oh, we have this style, we have this, and then it's interesting because people come over for two different reasons, and then. Normally they buy one of each, or they'll buy sometimes one of just this set, one of just that set. But we hit, I think what I wanted to do when I first started, like I wanted basically anime. Like we have Pokemon in there. There's some like other like.
But it's adjacent. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's all, but the Pokemon's more to grab the normies over. They're the less anime adjacent people, I should say. And then we have the two different styles, which mine hits more VTubers now because of the just trying to bring that crowd over, and then his is more, I'd say, more the
nostalgia Gen Z.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, I love Ava. Haven't seen it, but I love it.
I've heard it's amazing, and I love it.
I like the style. This will make me watch Ava. Yeah. I've had that conversation like 1,000 times. If you haven't seen Ava, watch Ava.
Yeah,
and if you don't want to watch the whole show, watch the movies. It's fine either way. But I don't know. I think just that divide also helped a lot. how we divide now. Like my recommendation has always been, if you have a lot of stuff like we do, the book helps a lot. But what I've noticed in the past 2025, 2 years, the book has become less touched.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I don't know why. Because like right after the sickness, you think that's when people don't want to touch things.
Yeah.
And everyone was like going through the book. Now it's like, I'm like, oh, we got more in the book, and they're like, okay.
I mean, there's probably a bunch of reasons, right? You can even probably attribute it to like lower attention spans and certain things. If something doesn't eye catch you instantly, you don't go and
because we've also had people do what I call it the full scan, where they go every tile, they go through it, and then they go through it. And I'm like, oh, they got more in the book. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then they go through it. And then they go to the book sometimes. I'm like, okay. Why'd you go? I'm like, everything's in the book.
There was a point where we had too many people. So we're like, we have 2 books. So different people can look through them. Like Forrest can talk to somebody. I can talk to somebody else while they're at the booth. But now they're just kind of like, they look at it, point something, then they buy it or they just walk away.
And one of the this is just as me as an artist. I noticed a lot of people don't read.
How much is this big $20 sign?
Yeah. Some things be read, like the ribbons. A lot of people notice now. They'll read that to see how they get the ribbons. But no one knows how much things cost. I'll put them on the booth. So I've given up on putting that on the booth. That's a weird distinction, I think, between our booth and most. Most booths have the numbers.
Yeah.
But people still ask, where I've just given up on using that real estate.
Yeah.
That real estate now is more stuff.
No, obviously.
So if you have a lot of stuff, or if you just don't want to display and you don't mind talking to people, just don't display the price. They'll come up and ask you.
Something I think we struggled to is that all of our plates were black at first.
Yes.
Our
booth stands out a lot.
And I feel like the black we just kind of like drown.
I think it also doesn't. Yes,
it drowned everything.
Yeah.
I think like your art was black and white.
Yeah. It also doesn't help that normally in cons the divider curtains are black.
Yep.
Yeah,
and all that stuff. So it really just kind of blends into the space.
Yep.
It's bad for sales. Bad for sales.
My recommendations, at least, go for a bright color, or at least make it look colorful, or add like the fake wood paneling, or do something that you can make it look nice. Ours is just, we travel too much and every ounce counts.
Because obviously you can see so many different artists will use different things, whether that be lights, signs, whatever's, right? Whatever you're able to carry with you. But I feel like the easiest thing to do from the get-go is just to get bright colored panels, because that's probably your most inexpensive thing to get anyway.
Yeah.
That's probably where you're going to get as is, even before you decide what your setup is, how it's going to look.
And there's other booths out there. Like Pink is normally more the cutesy like booths.
Yeah.
Our booth looks so funny.
Our booth definitely stands out because I think Pink is very uncommon, just in general.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see that booth much.
No.
So normally when you see it, like at least at most cons, I'll have a lot of people come up like, oh, I saw you at blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I noticed your Pink ass booth. I'm like, yeah. Or the 300 t-shirts that we have hanging on our front.
Yeah.
But I think it helped tons because it brought tons of people over. And then it also helps, like, as I said, our booth is very divided, where we have some of the, more the painting style, and then we have more of the cutesy style, which is more just the digital stuff. And then our booth changes via who's around us.
Yeah,
that's true.
So if we somehow we get lucky and there's like a more darker art and then a cutesy art, we just flip the booth so the darker paintings on the side with the paint of the darker art and the cute stuff's with the cute stuff. So that way when people are looking, they kind of just keep going and they're like, oh, I'm at a new booth. It helps us, it feels like. Sometimes I mess it up or I get there before the other booth does. You just kind of out of luck. And you're like, oh, well.
We also look for like the flow of traffic, or like if we're in a corner, like whatever standout pieces go in there and stuff like that.
What can we shove in a corner to make people come over?
Yeah.
Because, like, if you're in a corner, you have your side panels. A lot of people don't put anything, which I think is a really bad idea.
Yeah.
I think you should put something. Normally what I try to do is I put one of each of ours, so at least you can see just the dynamic from the side of the booth. That's normally only like 2 pieces of art, maybe a T-shirt. So that way, by the time they turn, they'll be like, oh, that one thing looked cool. Yeah. Maybe I could find it on the booth.
Because I feel like for the most part that's kind of what you want, right? It's like just general marketing, general advertising, right? You want something that's eye catching. I mean, there's a reason why every restaurant uses yellow and red, right? Yep. Because it's extremely eye catching and your eye naturally gravitates toward it. And then obviously height is always a big thing as well.
Yeah, we learned that.
The vastness of a booth translates to, this person has a lot of stuff or anything. And obviously there's other things too that I've seen in other booths and they use, and it works well for their art style and stuff and what they do, and it works. But and in ours, it's just like general distribution, so everyone gets a taste, especially like you said, because there's such disparity between the different styles.
Yep.
I mean, this is a big one on my end, and maybe like for every person's different. For every con goer, it's different as well. There's energy. I feel like is a big one as well, which I do appreciate for you guys or you in general, because the stereotype, right, of the general artist is normally a lot of like, I'm behind my booth, I will talk to you if you talk to me.
Maybe,
yeah. Like you come buy my art, you say thank you. I don't know how to accept the compliment because like every artist has their.
Oh yeah. I'm the same way. Exactly. It's good art. I'm like, if you say so, if you say so, okay.
And then the transaction happens and that's it, right?
Yep.
And for a lot of artists, their art speaks for themselves and then they're capable of this and whatever's. But I do feel like there is a certain like warmth and energy that does attract people to the booth as well, whether that's just your general demeanor with your booth neighbors or just how you interact with people and everything. I think that also helps a lot.
God, friendly neighbors just make the con so much better.
Oh my goodness.
Like 20 times better.
I'm also the guy, like, I like to walk the con first day.
Yes.
Like, before anyone gets in, just so I can see what's around. Because even, like, there's a lot of con goers that are like, do you have X piece? Like, do you have Experiments Lane? The show that 2 people watched.
Yeah.
And they're like, I saw that art piece at, X booth. If you go this way, I don't know what it is, but you'll find it at some point. And so, like, I like to point out people, but I also have I don't know if it's just me, but people just seem to always, because I think I stand all the time. I don't sit. That's my one rule. I want to be at least, like, eye level with the person. I feel bad when they're like, I want this. I'm like, okay, let me get up. I'm like, I'm just stand up.
A friendly look. Yes. Very, like, fatherly, right?
I guess that's what it is.
Surrounded by pink tie.
Definitely not weird look, I guess. That's good. But even, like, people come up to the booth all the time, be like, hey, do you know where X booth, what's your number? And they always ask me for some reason. So I guess I look like a father.
I think it's an energy. It's an openness, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Very friendly.
Yeah, because that I feel like that changes a lot, and a lot of the times it makes you want to approach the booth.
Yeah.
Because I can always understand, and this always happens too when the booth is like by itself, and even if it is amazing art, there's a lot of people that'll hesitate to go up to the booth because they don't want to be the one person there.
Yeah.
And
I know sometimes it's also imposing.
Yes.
Like I can tell, like if I'm standing, I can see there is like more of the people that don't want to talk.
Yeah.
Where that's I more sink back. Like I'll take a step. I'll physically take a step back just so I disappear more, or I'll take a step into the tiles.
But that,
disappear.
Like I said, but that's also being like conscientious of the crowd.
Yeah.
Right. That's feeling.
I can read body language.
It's reading the room, right? It's reading the crowd, and then changing the way you sell the art.
Because I've also learned like I will sit down at cons once in a while, like if I'm tired or it's a slow con. Normally that's when you'll see me sit or I'll kneel on the chair. But a lot of times if someone comes up to my booth at that point and I stand up, they kind of walk away because I guess it's just like I guess I impose myself. So I've learned I just step to the side, act like I'm getting something, stand up, and then move back in the frame, and then they have no problem.
It's like when you go shopping, right? And then like the worker finds you like, do you need anything? And you're like, oh, no, I don't want nothing.
So I've just learned like if you are sitting a lot, just beware of their body language. When they come.
And like
I
said, and it's a question of openness, right? For the thing that you said with like the store clerk in her, right? I think what every person like wishes is like, I don't want them to come and be like imposing, but if I need a question answered, I want them to be there, and I don't want them to look like if I ask them, I'm ruining their day.
Yeah.
Right.
Or like, I don't feel like I'm like forced to buy something now. If that makes sense.
You just be like a normal salesman, I guess. Don't like close your arms off, have an open body. Because I'll do like as a relaxing pose, I'll just like do the normal like this. But at cons, I normally put my hands behind my back because at least I know I'm not trying to close myself off. Basically, I want people to come up.
And all that stuff like helps a lot. Like I feel like the art is so important, and the way it's marketed and the way you use it is very important for sales. Because at the end of the day, as much as the art, and you live for the art and you live for that passion, I mean, you can't do more of it, right? If you can't pay for it.
Yeah.
But
I've learned also, this is just all stuff for artists. Your business cards, useless.
Yeah.
Those away. People won't scan them half the time.
That's some boomer shit now, I think. Business cards.
Our one is we just have the QR code.
Yes.
99% of the time, they're just fine with that.
Yeah.
You go, I got the QR code, they'll scan it. If they don't scan it, they weren't going to scan your type in your name.
Most of the time that leads them just directly into social media stuff anyway.
Social media, your website. Or what we like to do, haven't done as much, ribbons, good giveaway.
Yeah.
Say, scan this, blah, blah.
I feel like it's con dependent, but yes.
Yeah. Some of them, even some small cons, still like it just to have it. But our big one is if you have a good logo or you have a piece of artwork that can be very small and you don't mind giving it away, make stickers with the QR on the back. Make stickers with your logo name on the front so they can write it out. But the QR code, I think, is necessary in this day and age because no one's going to type out your name.
No, everything's like digital now. Like I think the less obstructions you put in someone's path, the more likely it is either A, they'll buy something for you, or at least they'll give you a follower or something that gives you more reach, and then more people will buy from you.
Yes. That's what I said. And sticker, like our stickers are great because you can slap them on the water bottle, and it has our logo so you can find it later.
Yeah.
So you just want something that has reach, but you're not spending like 25 cents, 10 cents a business card, and then you walk by the trash can that's 5 feet from your booth and you see 30 of them. You go, that was one full sale just right in the garbage.
I think business cards are good if you're interacting with other artists.
Yes.
I think they're more likely to keep your business cards. But if it's just you're just handing them out to Congors, you're just going to fucking throw it away or they're going to lose it.
And so if they ask for it, it's good. Just don't hand them out as much. Like the return rate's so low.
Yeah.
Because I think when we were doing business cards, our return rate was maybe like 5%, 2%.
Yeah.
Our stickers shot it up a lot because they were able to slap it on things and they could look it up later on.
Or they would just scan the thing right there.
And the QR codes are guaranteed
that
they scanned it. It's like, so that's just my best.
I feel bad when you get an artist's like business card and it's like thick, it's nice.
Yes.
And I'm like, bro, how much did this cost, dude?
Like, this is great. But
and then you scan it, you follow them. What do you do with it? I'm not gonna go. Hey,
I'm not
Bob,
gonna collect it.
Hey Bob, here's a cool business card.
No.
I mean, there always are like the con business card collectors.
Those are interesting.
Like there's people that do that. Maybe they throw the follow. They just want to. They want to what's it called? Endorse, support the artist, maybe, and not have the funds to do.
I also
so.
know a lot of them just want it, just to say, look, I got this much, and then throw it away. So it's just like, do something fun with your business card if you are gonna do one. Make it like a full print. Make it a sticker. Make it something that won't be trashed. Because then it just feels bad.
Oh, yeah.
And the same thing, if I get a business card from an artist, I normally scan it and I give it back to them. I'm like, here, you can have this back. They're like, no, I don't want it. They're like, you sure you don't want it? I'm like, yeah, it costs like 10 cents, man. Every penny counts in our field. So
it adds up.
Yeah.
Especially now when you think, because it's obviously becoming a lot more popular, it's becoming a lot more prominent, right? As everyone seeks for ways either to actually use their creativity to be something not a soul sucking way of making money, right? Con prices are going up.
Yeah,
prices are going up.
Yeah.
Like as an artist, booths have gone up so much in price over like the years. Like listening to, I forgot his name, Inkwell.
Yes,
he's talked about it on some other stuff he does. Where he's like, we booths were like $150 back in the day. Now it's starting at like a real small con, really small is like $250.
Yeah.
And then like Fan X is almost $400. And then exhibitor booths are $1,000 and up. And this is like small exhibitor booths. You're like, oh, you got
because obviously as you know, as the hobby, as the thing becomes more prominent, right? It's obviously bringing more money is flowing through.
Yeah.
But that also means that as the artist, like if you're starting from the scratch, right, you really have to like think about what it's going to mean, and every penny does count in those, because you want to be in the green, right?
Yeah.
Like as much as like making the art is fun for you, it helps to grease the palms a little, right? If you're getting something out of it.
And if you're not an artist, don't complain about the prices. You got to think, like, if you're not a traveling artist, yes, like, $5 to $10 for a 5x7 print seems pricey, but I got to sell, like, if I'm selling like $10 things to make up my table, I got to sell you like 30 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
especially if you're traveling,
then they got to make hotel.
I think it's more of a, and in this case, right? Because I can understand on the opposite side of things, right? On the consumer side, I can understand the want to complain, because obviously things are going up, and everything's going up, and you can complain, and I will never fault someone for complaining.
No.
I just don't. It's just what it is.
Complaining to the wrong person.
Yeah, it's just what it is. Like you can say what you want, but it's not going to change, and sadly, it's going to be worse.
The other complaint that I don't like, but I do understand and I sympathize, is that the artists have a lot of similar art or from similar shows, and it's not our fault. It's just that's what sells. That's what other people want.
Also, as an artist, I will say, for at least you, find shows you like. Doesn't have to be the popular one.
Yes.
It could be an old one that's really good. Like Nana's coming back
Yes.
in the style. I'm gonna do something for that because I love that show. Ava's obviously a big one. Yu Yu Hakusho is popping up again. You want to choose shows that are classics.
Yeah.
That aren't flooded.
Well, I think the thing too is I think you just have to find a balance, right? Because obviously your love for the thing will always come through in the art, and the passion will always come through for the thing you're doing, right? So at the same time, I always feel like there should be a fun like ratio between what you are doing because it's marketable, and also what you're doing because you love it. Because it's good. The marketable thing might bring people over, and then they're going to buy the other thing that you put so much time into and you love because you love that show, right?
Yeah.
Or it's just going to bring someone over because no one sees something of that show anymore, right?
Yeah, because like my Mashal print, I came out way too late, and a lot of people when I first came out, it was like, not many people liked it or wanted to buy it. I guess is a better word. And then recently, it's been kind of like, oh, someone has Mashal stuff.
Yeah,
You're like,
and it's always the case. Like for instance, you think about like your Little Witch print, right, or your Toradora print, right, where every so often the person will come like, oh, no one ever makes this stuff anymore, and I'm happy to find it. And as long as I think you have like gems like that, it's fine. And the rest of it can be whatever the popular shonen or whatever the popular show is. And
solo level.
Yeah. And you can put that because it, like I said, it funds your ability to
draw fun things.
Yeah. To do the things you want. And it's not like those aren't going to sell either, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a crowd for all of it.
It's like in Utah, My Hero Academia is very popular. And I know if we made a print of it, probably do well. But I don't have it in me to make one because I don't like the show that much to make art of it, and it just feels soul sucking.
Yeah,
and it feels fake, and I just don't want to do it.
My role as an artist is I only draw what I like and know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if someone comes up to my booth and they go, dude, I love X print, and you're like, cool. He's like, do you remember episode blah, blah, blah? You're like, I haven't seen it. And you go.
And like I said, I understand the need or the feeling of needing that you have to do this and you have to make this stuff, right? But I mean, I think the fun thing too about cons in general, right, or the idea of the artist alley or the booth is I think part of the appeal is the interactive side of it, right? Is the idea of talking to this person who also loves this thing that you love, and to the point where they're willing to create things, right? And it is, at least knowing a little bit of what you're doing is fine, and that's like I never fault an artist for not knowing everything about every.
Oh yeah, I
don't
say
care, right?
even some of my favorite shows, people will come up and say the nichest thing, and I'll be like,
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that. You're like, oh, it's in episode 3 at minute 10, and you're like, I don't remember that.
It was just over. Came out in 2004.
You are amazing for remembering that. I do not.
But the funny thing is, so normally I'm like the head of the booth at most cons, so I have to watch anything he makes. So it's just like, I gotta learn at least enough to know what people are talking about. So when they do come up, they're like, "Oh, you remember this?" Like, I remember that.
I know that.
My favorite is when Forrest has to sign whatever piece I made for me fantastic.
Yeah,
We are one.
It says Reaper in the area. It's signed by me. You're welcome.
What's been your favorite con so far?
Favorite as in
You enjoyed it
Yeah.
the most. Maybe we didn't do as well, or you didn't do as well, but you had fun vending it.
funnest might be Anime Matsuri in Texas. Just because I have a lot of bigger artists go there, a lot of friends from there, made a lot of friends from there. It's in a good place, a lot of good food, a lot of stuff to do if you are an attendee.
Yeah.
Because as like an artist, you don't leave the booth.
Yeah.
Definitely me. I'm kind of stuck by myself. I've left the booth once for Matsuri, and that was because there was the manga artist for the deer show. My dear friend,
Shokonoko.
Yeah. She was there, and I'm like, I want to get that artist, so I'm going to leave my booth for 30 minutes. And it was like probably the only time I've left my booth by myself.
Yeah.
But that con has a lot to do in general, and it's not like Anime Expo size. It's really big. Like
it's
really big.
It's big, but it's not
Yeah. So I'd say
it's crushing big.
that one might be my funnest. My funnest interactions I've had probably might be Sin City. Because with meeting the musicians from Acme.
That was my favorite, Vegas.
From Acme, we had a lot. It's a smaller artist alley, so everyone kind of knows everybody.
It's a smaller con.
It's
too.
inside a casino, like in an event hall.
So I consider that probably to be my second favorite. I don't know if I'd go as an attendee. To be honest with you.
But as an artist, it's fun.
As an artist, it's fun. As an attendee, like, you do make decent money there too.
Yeah.
Because there's not many artists, so your pickings is small.
Yeah.
But I've learned it doesn't matter the size of the con. Like if it's a huge con, a small con, you normally average about the same. So if you're guessing, if there's like 3,000 people, you'll probably sell the same percentage as you would sell to a 10,000 person.
As a percentage-wise, right?
Yeah. Even money sometimes doesn't fluctuate as much as you would think. The craziest con, Ohio, didn't expect to do as good as we did there.
Oh, okay.
That was the shirt-a-thon convention.
Shirt, yeah. If you sell shirts, don't go there because that's our con. But yeah, that's a good one. FanX
It's okay.
is okay.
It's okay. Like it's a good size, but I feel like there's an issue with every Comic-Con, right? Or like a Comic-Con in general, where it's more generalized.
Yeah.
Where obviously, because it's more generalized, sure, there's a lot more people, but a good chunk of them aren't there for what you're drawing.
Well, I enjoyed the first 2 times we did
Yes.
FanX. The third time, like it was fine, but since we were doing an exhibitor booth,
Yes.
you couldn't interact with fucking anybody around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of felt like, you're just stuck with in your corner, basically. If you want to interact with another artist or another vendor, you have to like go walk across the fucking hall.
And I feel like that's just the difference between like doing exhibitor and artist. Anyway, like I said, part of the appeal of Artist Alley is the interactivity. Whether you with the artist with other artists, or you with the people, right?
Yep.
Or the standard exhibitor booth, even if there is an artist exhibitor booth because they're big enough for that, there is a good chance for many of them too that the artist itself is not even there, right? It's a proxy or whatever's.
Normally the really big artists are proxies.
Yeah, because it starts to become, because it is a business, right? It is putting food on their table and food on the table of a few people at this point, right?
If they have proxy,
Yeah, and it becomes commodified.
If made enough, it'd be worth it.
It becomes commodified, right? And it's not like the art changes. Most of those is amazing artists as well. Yeah. It's just the natural growth of business.
Yep.
But there is something fun to me about like
Meeting the artist.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, because like as a attendee of like 20 years, it feels like 30 years almost. It's nice to actually meet the artist.
Yes.
Because you're there, you want to talk to them, maybe how they did said thing, like, or talk to them about show. Because talking to a proxy half the time, you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. You watch the show, he's like, nah, it's some other artist made it. Oh, okay, so you're just here.
And I can understand. I can understand like the artist want of not being there or whatever is there. Like I said, their art spoke for themselves to the point, and they're not really people, right?
Most of they're probably busy drawing.
Yeah,
and
that's
that's their
fine.
full-time job.
But like I said, there is something special, I think, about seeing the person that produces the work. But
Yeah.
Oh, it's like at last FanX, like the dude that illustrated Goosebumps was there. That was pretty cool. And then there was a really niche guy that did like art for the Power Ranger comics series. I was so sad. He had amazing art, very little interaction while I walk by. I'm like, no, he's so good though.
Yeah.
Well, that's the issue. So, like when I grew up going to Comic Cons,
Yeah.
before I became an anime guy, I think that crowd is gone. The people that would interact with the older artists.
Yeah.
Like that's my dad's crowd. Like I'd argue it's mine too, but I grew up with him.
Yes,
so
yeah.
he told me, "Oh, let's just go talk to
This artist.
said artist," as he's just kind of sitting there. So I've gotten to meet, some of the big ones, like the guy who drew Ren and Stimpy, the
Yes.
comics and stuff. The original founders for Marvel. I've met them. Met some of the other artists, and they got me into art. So it's just like being able to talk to them was nice. Where now it feels like people care less about the artist, more just, I want said 5.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, here you go, $10.
And there's people that do, there's people that don't, right?
Yeah.
It's always the nature of the beast, right?
Yeah. Because like I said, we do have a lot of conversations
Yeah.
at the booth about just art in general, between your traditional style, and they'll be like, "Oh, I love this eye." It's like, "Oh, okay." You're like, you should do this then if you love it. Or like the big thing I do now is the cards.
Yeah.
Everyone comes up for the 3D cutout cards. They're like, "That's really cool," and then half of them might ask me, "How do you do it?" I'll explain it. I don't care. If you do it, you do it. Good. Maybe you get better than me.
Yep.
I'd love to see it. So it's just like, it's cool. But I like having the interactions. To me, it's weird having someone not interact, where
Yeah.
they're just here for, it's a transaction.
Yeah, and like I said, to each their own, right? I understand some people aren't like built for it, or that's just not their thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's fine. But I do, that is a side of it that I do enjoy a lot.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people have complained, like you said before. There's no interactions sometimes from the artist side.
Yeah.
If you are an artist, please talk to the other people. It's not just a transaction. You're here to make friends.
I feel bad for the people that are soft-spoken, right?
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
hard for them to like speak up or like
Yeah.
to like, you feel like they're repeating things because you're like, I can't fucking hear what you're saying.
We're also
it's
deaf.
that time. I'm deaf as
We're-
fuck, dude. So
there's-
it's loud and I just feel bad.
There's a lot of times where people will whisper, and I do the lean in, and I lean in.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's
And I
okay, I'm
tilt my
deaf.
head.
I'm sorry, I'm deaf. I'm an old man.
Point out what you want, bro. I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But interactions from both sides is nice. Be nice to your other artist neighbors. No, we're not trying to battle for the same sale.
No.
Be nice.
Only for the meme.
And so that's my other role as an artist. If you're an artist and you want to learn, go up to the next artist booth across from you,
Well, yeah.
next to you. You
'Cause-
make new friends. You make new ideas.
Because I feel like the attitude that always has to exist now, right? Is because everyone's in the same trade, right? Everyone's like, and con, especially like selling at cons, is such a specific activity that like why not take advantage of the people that have done it for long periods of time or in it. Like it doesn't hurt you to ask, and you might learn a way to sell more stuff and get more money out of it, and so it's not so backbreaking to you and. You just have more fun, right, doing the thing. And I understand there's like sometimes there's the system we live in likes to breed the idea of competition and stuff like that. But in this case, everyone's art is so different. And unless you are trying so hard to mimic like everybody else's style, as long as you over time develop your own, you will have an audience.
Yep.
So I think it's more profitable to prop everyone up than to directly compete.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never understood that mentality. Like, I get it. We are selling to the same group.
Yes.
But it doesn't matter. Oh, I get my stuff from X vendor and I save 10 cents more. Well, just tell me that. And then we can, maybe if I tell them that you sent me, you get a discount.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because on the back end, I mean, for everyone, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Just because I know what you do on your back end is not going to rob you of your sale because your art is so different than mine.
Yep. If you want to know where we get anything printed, DM me. I'll post it. I don't care. Tell everyone where I get my Pokemon cards, CCG player, amazing. Skateboards, customskateboards.com. Just go ask people. Who cares? That's how I found out how to print from cat prints.
Oh, yeah,
instead
yeah.
of printing at my place down the street. Sorry, I know local business is good, but I have to cut every print. Sometimes the colors are horrible.
Oh, I like the accidental one they sent you when we printed the Gundam print and they had like texture on it on like canvas.
Yeah.
That one looked really
That was
good.
dope.
Yeah,
That was dope.
I always want to buy it, but it's like 30 cents more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think anyone's going to care that much. And I want to increase the price just for a texture on a paper that no one's going to notice, except, us.
So now, like, you've been doing this for a while. We've been going to cons. No. Well, I mean, and not even just that, right? Because obviously everyone has their different ways they got into anime in general and ways you got into art, right? You've mentioned like going to cons and seeing art and doing all that stuff. Bob, on your end, I'm not entirely sure. You've always kind of drawn as long as I've known you, so I don't really know where that fully comes from in that sense. But no, I think the bigger question of the thing is where do you want to go from here? Like what are your goals, your aspirations? Like whether it be within your art and your art style.
Forrest's goal is to quit his job so he can do it full time.
My goal is to go to the moon.
like
and then I'm gonna take my helmet off and die.
You see yourself, like, what do you want to accomplish? What are your goals for like the booth and selling? Like what's
main goal at this exact moment?
Make more money.
Is to finish this damn tarot deck I worked on for like 2 years because I'm a slow artist.
You have what, 2 cards left?
Almost one at this point. When this comes out,
yeah.
I'll probably be done with the fronts. And I'll just have to make the backs.
Nice.
and then tuck case.
Tuck case. And then find a distributor.
Yes.
And then do a Kickstarter.
He'll be done by summer.
Yes.
Hopefully.
And then I can ship them out. Anyway, now real goal, do manga.
Okay.
I have a story already in my head. It's just need time.
18 years later, if you know, you know.
Who would know? No one would know. We have never mentioned this. This is just a joke amongst ourselves.
It's not a joke. I have the story written on my phone. I'll tell you. It's called 18 Years Later.
No, it's not the moment.
And it's adult themed.
Oh, my Lord. No, this is over, Bob.
Check us out on your nearest.
What
What do you want?
I want?
No, what do you want to accomplish? What is,
New car.
he wants to go to more cons. That's what he wants.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Getting the AX, I guess, is another goal.
Going to BX would be dope. Or New York Comic Con. One of the big ones. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Good luck for us.
Yeah.
Matsuri. Well, sorry, the one in Seattle.
Sakura.
Sakura-con.
Yeah, Sakura-con.
These are all the ones you're asking for.
Yeah.
All dice rolls.
Yeah,
Kawaii
if
Con.
it happened, and they're like, "Oh, dude, we made it at least once," and
Yep.
then we could probably get into anything else because they're like, "Oh, we've been here."
Yeah.
So
It helps a
accept
lot.
us. But yeah, I just want to get into more, I guess, a different art. I guess
Okay.
so, like maybe some original art that we can start putting here and there.
Yeah. OC
Original
stuff.
art is definitely
Yeah.
a big
I think it's
goal.
the way to go.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like slowly put some in.
Like I would love to do what Boomslang does.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I like his style.
Uh-huh.
And so it's some of the stuff I'm like I might try some of, like originals, but it's just hard to push.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, make more of a presence, more. What's the word? I don't know. Just meet more people, basically. If they're vibing with your original art or whatever.
I think that's the most
There,
important too
yeah.
as an artist to have something of yours that you made that stands out.
Yeah.
Like our logo is like probably our only
Piece of like
original.
truly original work.
Technically, I guess it's.
Yeah.
I have the cat stickers that has now become somehow Dan the Dan cat stickers because they're lucky. They're just lucky
Yeah,
cats.
There's lucky
Yeah.
kids.
They don't have the brown on top. They're just lucky cats. Damn you, Dan the Dan.
Yeah, as my art evolves, I want to maybe redo some of my other like first pieces.
Older pieces.
Yeah.
Would you like to experiment with different mediums?
No. Not really. Not at the moment.
I'm gonna get you to do oils one of these days, Bob.
What? That
I'm gonna
is-
get
it
you,
takes
I'm gonna-
so
I'm gonna,
long,
I'm gonna get you to
dog.
do oils one of
It
these
takes
days.
so long.
I challenge you, Bob, to do what I did 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Arttober, 31 days of 31 different mediums.
31 different mediums.
Yes.
I got about, I think, like 20 in, and it's like, I'm done.
I'm burnt out like first week, and I don't want to do art edit.
It did kill me pretty hard. Wood burning, painting, pencil, pen, ink.
I guess if I don't post it
Cards.
online, maybe I just something shitty. I'm like, nice, I did it.
That's not the point.
Well, I think that's
the point is accountability, right?
Yeah.
another big thing would be to actually post on Instagram more than once every 10 years.
Actually work on the social media presence.
Yeah. You'd have to quit my job for that. I've never been good with social media to begin with.
Yeah.
Working at the moment in another what's it called? Body of work, basically, for non-weebs.
He does have these paintings for
I mean,
football.
I'm staring at a lot of soccer paintings right now.
No, it's football.
So doing
Football.
another body of work that can be displayed somewhere else. Sometimes the con and the soccer art,
They do mix.
Yeah.
they do match sometimes.
I still think it's my favorite when someone asks for the Messi print that we have.
That's another thing. Just draw whatever you want. Who
Yeah.
cares?
Someone will like it.
Yeah.
Comic-Con is the perfect spot. If you want to just draw anything, do it.
Mm-hmm.
The big hinders of Comic-Con, as you said before, you're shooting to everybody.
Yep.
Yep.
So you have a lot of eyes on your work, with not a lot of sales. If you're going to a specific con, if you draw anime, which if you're watching this, you're probably an anime artist, try to just go for anime cons. Definitely when you're first starting.
I think video games can work as well.
Yeah, I think it's a good mix because I
Yes.
think they overlap a lot. Where anime does overlap in the comics, but it's a very small margin.
Or like, because the thing too is you're dealing with all the other fandoms, right?
Yes.
You have your
Star Wars,
Doctor Who,
Oh, like
Lord of the
Sonic.
I
Rings.
guess, especially like here in Utah, it's like the over the garden wall
Yep.
at the
Hellsbin Hotel.
that
Hell's Been Hotel,
one.
Hell of a Boss.
the other they're on Cartoon Network. The other
Your stuff like Gravity Falls,
Yeah.
Steven Universe, that
that's
kind
that
of
type
era.
of- oh, the other like adult like
Adventure
cartoons.
Time, obviously.
Yeah.
So if you're aiming for if you sell anime art, try to just do anime cons. Unless you're doing local, then it doesn't matter.
Then by all means.
Because your number's so low to make back, even if you do lose a little bit, it's not bad. If you're traveling, what I've learned, a lot of our Comic Cons, we do the worst comparatively to anime cons.
It's a harder sell for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
That's why I like the Pokemon video games. They just hit everybody.
Yeah.
We had Lilo and Stitch stickers at one point.
I
No,
I forgot we had those.
We never sold them at the con until everyone wanted them.
I know the kids loved them though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's also another thing. Bring stuff to give away.
Yeah.
Print out your bad misprints. I know a lot of people do like bad misprints and then buy something, you get a free misprint.
They're not misprints. They're shinies.
Yeah.
Well, use your shinies. Give them to kids. Give them to cosplayers.
Remember when you sold that shiny to the one dude?
I sold many shinies to dudes because they're like, I want that version. I'm like,
Okay.
I got you, boss.
Cool.
If that's the one you
Well,
want.
and like I said, it's like from earlier. I think it's just the question of energy, right? It's just the vibes. As like weird that sounds. It's the vibes you're putting out, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're giving out to people, it's because you're being nice, you're being friendly, and it just brings more people in.
Yeah. People will buy more, or you'll at least make a fan.
Yeah.
Because we've had that a lot too. This is our third year, so we do have cycled through a few cons multiple times. We've had many people come up to us again and be like, oh, I remember you last year.
Yeah, we bought this and this.
We
And
bought this, you gave us this, we talked,
Yeah.
You get the same interaction. It's a different interaction, but with the same client.
Yes.
I love the returning customers for somehow like in a different state. Like, oh, I bought this at so and so con. Now I want this one. I'm like, wow.
You're like so amazing. Yeah.
I just saw you last week. I'll take two.
Oh, I love when they're like, oh, are you going to be at so and so in Utah? I'm like, yeah, we'll be there. I'm like, oh, we'll see you guys there.
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing Vegas?
Why are you here? And that's another thing as an attendee. Traveling the cons is fun.
It's always
If you travel AX, New York.
If you have the opportunity to do so and the means to do so, by all means.
Was the furthest we've driven was like 8 hours or so.
Is that Vegas?
Yeah, I think Vegas is the
Vegas is
furthest
the
we've
furthest?
driven.
Vegas is first we've driven.
What's the furthest you've flown?
Boston
Florida.
or Florida?
Florida? Is that more far than
Other than Boston.
Boston?
Because Florida's low.
Yeah.
Where Boston's a line
Oh,
almost.
gotcha.
Alaska's going to be pretty far on this next one.
I don't think you're going to be beating that one.
I don't know if it's further
Mexico
than Florida.
Mexico Con.
My plan is to sell worldwide.
Cool,
Yeah.
I'm going to shave my head and be Mr. Worldwide at one point.
Okay, hell yeah.
Suit.
But yeah, Florida was the furthest. And as a vendor, if you are flying, it's weird. Check your flights before you purchase, because there's certain cons that are just like our Texas con from Utah. People flew from Cali to Texas cheaper than I flew from Utah to Texas.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
So sometimes you just have to be like, some of the closer cons are just more expensive to get to for no reason.
Yeah.
I flew to Florida for $400.
Yeah.
I flew to Texas for like $550.
Gross.
So it just, you do have to pay attention to everything you're spending on.
Well, of course. It's like business side of things, right?
Yeah.
You have to actually pay attention to your
Numbers
dividends.
you don't notice.
Yeah.
Stuff that just happens.
Yep.
But yeah, start small. Involve your friends if you have to or if you want to.
Start posting on Instagram or X or Blue
Sky.
Butterfly, whatever it's called.
Blue Sky?
Blue Sky, yeah.
Yep.
Blue butterfly.
I just know the symbols of butterfly.
Blue,
It's blue.
blue sky. Yeah.
Do that. Do an Etsy. I don't like saying that because Etsy very hard on the copyright strikes.
We just gotta start somewhere.
Do that.
Yeah.
The best spots to start, eBay.
Yeah.
You'll get very low sales, but you don't have to worry about anything you post there.
Yeah.
Nothing ever gets copyrighted.
Obviously going, you start
It's a portfolio.
transitioning into whether that be Shopify or Coffee or Patreon or whatever. So.
Do your local con. See how much you make, because that's probably about how much you're going to make everywhere.
Like try a local park. Sometimes they have events. How much do was like a $20 table?
$20 table.
Maybe like $100.
Yeah, we sold like 2 T-shirts and something else.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
then-
profits, baby.
And it was only like 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's short, but
It was
then
hot as fuck.
yeah. Well, we were directly in the sunlight.
Yeah.
We didn't have a canvas. We were
We were
we were legit.
unprepared. We were very
It was our
unprepared.
first time.
We were like, it's gonna be like a normal con. There's trees. It might be
Yeah.
windy. That might be the worst part. You put it. The sun's like, I'm like.
We met an artist that we've seen her
Many
a
times.
couple times. Yeah.
Very good friend.
So you just never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your foot in the door.
It's a try, because then even if it is your first con, you will probably find someone, or not even con, first market,
Yes.
first X, whatever you call it. You will find someone that probably sells something adjacent to you, and you can learn where they buy it from, how much things cost, and that's the most important part, is how much you're going to spend, how much your time is going to be. Because if you don't have someone else make it, now you're spending your time to make it. You may be saving half the cost, but it's half the cost worth twice your time.
Yeah.
And for us now, we do too much. It's just easier to have someone else do it.
I imagine
Print it.
if we're still printing our own stickers, we would need like 4 printers, like 5 Cricut.
Yeah.
Fucking shitty ass Cricut, bro.
I mean, I don't think they're ever meant for businesses. It's supposed to be a hobby cutter. They make actual industrial ones.
Do not afford those. Those are like thousands of dollars.
But I'm just saying, it's just the route that the business side will take as an expense.
If it is your
But-
first con, print your own stuff. I know I just said print your own stuff. It is cheaper. It is quicker. You can see what does sell. And then don't do what I did. Don't go, I'm going to con.
I take everything.
Con make money. I print 300. There's certain stickers we still have from our first con.
Don't overprint.
Yeah.
Print 10. Print 5 if you're really unsure. But 10 is a good margin because then you can sell them through most of your cons, most of your life. But when I printed like 50 of my first Peak stickers. We still have some of those. So,
hell yeah.
and after 3 years, like obviously the art's compared to my older art,
it's
newer
changed.
art,
You evolve
it's
as an
not
artist.
as good. So print 5, print 10, don't print 50.
If you sell out, you sell out.
Yeah, if you sell out, and if you're printing them yourself, you sell out at a local con. Don't sleep. Make them the next day or the night of. Go to your con with the new set.
Do it again.
Do it again.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that's always the thing, right? For any of these endeavors, right? It's just get your foot in the door and start.
Yep.
If you're not selling much, then talk to other artists around you.
Like, because if anything, that's like the greatest thing that you guys did is you just jumped into it, right?
Yep.
Jumped into a big con from the get go, and just.
We also
Died.
learned.
I just don't know how we did so well at first.
Magic.
You never has that. You just let the providence come.
Yeah.
Look at go to any con or look at other websites like other YouTube channels that show like vlogs of their con, and then match their booth because that's how we found. Well, that's how we found the tiles.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we started our booth. Just do something simple, something easy.
Doesn't have to be expensive.
Yeah. Don't put it flat on a table. No one will see it. And if you do have, like, if you're not selling well, maybe ask the artist next to you. Maybe ask someone that is buying.
What can you do?
What is it? The display looks weird. Is everything blending in? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, that should help, hopefully. That's my best guess. Exactly. If not, do what we did. Go in blind.
And you learn as you go.
Yeah. And we learned the hard way.
Hitting every brick wall.
We lost money like our first year. We broke even. Now we're finally in the green.
There you go.
It'll probably take about 3 years, unless you're really good. Like really, really good. And then very smart on your business side.
Uh-huh. Exactly. And so, yep, that's us, the sweeper in the area.
Yeah. If you guys have a particular artist you want to hear from, that we can hit up.
DM us. Our next con is technically Utah, but probably by the time this comes out, it'll be Alaska. So for the 5 people that are going to be there, I'll be at Alaska at least. You want to come say hi? It'll be real nice.
Yep, he'll be there.
We're there for the vibes, and so
There for the trip.
Yeah. But come see us at either of those. If not, we go to almost 12 to 13 cons a year.
Yeah.
You probably see us at any of the mid to big size cons.
Or you'll see us just randomly at AX just because we go.
Yeah, we'll walk around. If you find me and you see me at AX, there's a 99% chance
you get a free sticker.
You'll get a free sticker or
there
something.
You go.
Because I always have stuff I like to give out there. So come find me. Good luck.
Exactly. And that's it for this run of Behind the Booth. Until next time. Peace.